Hello, hello. Jesus Christ. Hello. Instrument. If you close your eye. This. I don't even remember the lyrics. This is it then. Mr. Naruhodo, we're just gonna ignore it. We're just gonna ignore it. I was like, this is it then, Naruhodo. This is time to put an end to all this now. Yep. To the miserable causes that has been plugging. Okay. Mr. Natsume to everything. My own was blown away. I shall do everything I can do to help you out. And I always appreciate your help, Mr. Sato. Suffering, Soseki, selfishly, sidelined. Yes. Good morning to you, too, Mr. Natsume. Good morning. Good morning, lockers to the Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Listen to you two chatting away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here. Why would you do that? Why? Oh dear, we didn't need to cause you offense, Mr. Natsume. So perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly you were meditating, find the inner calm. Is it wrong to disturb you? I was waiting. What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally, just because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one hopes death. Death? Or such like? That sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut. Oh. I missed the sign. I missed the point of what that's my problem. I missed the sign, I'm afraid, so how you have to forgive me. You must have talked to your path leading to your death, Mr. Natsume. That was just an example. Oh yes, there it is. Intercom. It is the intercom. Just showing pouring out of him. You can barely came to see me at all yesterday. I will show you abandonment. Be a return to our beautiful long-lost homeland. We've not been in Great Britain a week yet. It's only been a week. Yeah, this is their third case, right? Yes, well, anyway, I intend to set everything straight at court today and determine to uncover the truth. The truth! I've actually reached an important decision myself. Oh, a sort of decision? I shall feed you enough to the trial. What? Alright. It was seen. Mr. Shomi isn't coming today after all. That you want to go back to Japan? I mean, wasn't already being told us last night? It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits. It's a very clear message, I think. That he overslept again. So it's going to be late. Long may he stay away, if you ask me. Defendant and your legal representative. The trial is about to begin. Make your way into the courtroom immediately. Today, once again, we face the Reaper. And the Reaper stands for the persecution. The defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Soseki's curse. The truth is behind. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing in my client, and I keep fighting to the very end. That's all. That's all. That's all. That's all. That's all. Welcome everyone to the old ballet. You're on the second trial. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsel for the prosecution, defense of your character willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. Yes, the defense is ready too. Blah, 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 very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by the law to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed? Absolutely, justice will be done, you mark my words. I feel obliged to say I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is sitting just right. Just right? Oh well, I wonder if you could adjust my hat for me. And please be ruthless as you like. Are you flirting there? Are you flirting there, gentlemen? Isn't that the way of flirting? Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me, especially gas thieves. I have no sympathy for the man at all. Look, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. Go on my own problems. Oh, may the Lord show us the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict again today. Something like a priest would say. Not the Lord Venzisk, what can I tell you? Kill this. Prosecution report, please. Protocol? In relation to the theory responded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant. So he does have the result. He seemed troubled, so I guess they didn't find poison in it. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the black god it belonged. Pray allow me a moment to savor a liquid of more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector. Okay. Very curious. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar soap just outside the victim window in the snow. And there was indeed the frozen reddish liquid with a little depression on the top of it. Yes, that's the tea. That's what Mr. Sway brought with him that night. All the brains out the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right, it was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it. No poison at all. In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim room is innocent. It is in the clear. So the likelihood is in the teacup. What a revelation. As I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Soseki Satsuma, is blameless.
Objection!
My learned friend is jumping conclusion again. A typical Nipponese reaction. Typical Nipponese. What? It's true, no poison was found until a few drops of liquid recovered from the soap in the window. But what logic is that? Would you take a drop of the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean is salty? Oh my word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, counsel. Exactly. I'm fit to drink just the victim tea was a lying question. The court has already heard. So it's not really a point to analyze it. Peter was the precise word from lips Mr. William Shakespeare. The prosecution now calls back to the stand. Very well, I will uphold the prosecution request. Mr. Shakespeare? Yes, it sounds like we're going to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend. Bailiff, show Mr. Champions to the stand. Mr. William Shakespeare, the victim of this despicable crime. Oh heaven, oh hell, you command me to remember. Forsooth that was I, Shakespeare, in a bellyful of the foul fluid, given in my innocence. Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the waiter is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe. By using bar soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company, yes. One may smile, and be villain! Forsooth was I, Shakespeare. Did I have a roomful of the sweet fields given? That's right, fellow jurors, don't forget. This man is a rotten thief! I had forgot to keep all that about the ice coins and tidy skaker, didn't you? You should have owned up sooner. Arrest him, I say, arrest him once! I'll let him feel the sting in my tail. Oh, indeed. By the end of a violent cowardly means, I have plotted to further mine on my own ends, I confess. Thou knowest pardon my sins. Oh, that I am sure. What? Your knowledge from your world doing, what exactly are you doing here? Cowards, die many times before their death. And for cowards such as I, death we... What? That be well deserved, but... would a still greater crime pass unpunished? For law, the hairy-faced gentleman of rather farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me.
Objection!
God. My brain cells is like, oh. But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police haven't tested it. But the defense will assert as inconsistent will quickly be declared up by the witness testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Champtier? Verily, my liege, I will most gladly speak. Very well, let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency. Tell the court why is that poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea. Yeah, I think I solved the case. There was actually a small inconsistency in my theory, but I'm not gonna spoil it here. The Japanese man did come to my chamber with a tea brewed in a pot. Twice my cup alone that was wicked. Miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. While his feigning distraction our debate near did a drop of his own drink past his lips. While he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coin suffice. Thus is no surprise that poison be not found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap. Wait, what? The poison was asleep in the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered in my experience. Quite, otherwise I will be disastrous if the poison were to mix up the cups, for instance. But no poison bottle was found at the scene. Because quite simply the neighbor took the bottle back to his own room. Then while vessel contained the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. I knew that. By now I should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is well insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands. Sirs, madams, it is true that I, Champtier, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Wherefore would I lie, verily? I have no cause ever not to lose. Well, I do declare. Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Interesting. There is a clear mark of tea here. This is now tea. This is the cup from which Mr. Naruhodo was drinking. Yes, unlike the other one, the inside of the cup is completely clean. So he must have drunk the contents before the tea had a chance to leave him out. Probably. It was completely down too. Sorry, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, if you just sip a little by little, it goes cold. Clearly, I shall have to instruct you in the proper way to take tea. Zoom! You know the keep that Mr. Champtier was drinking from him. He's saying on the inside. Tea does that, I'm afraid. Even green tea. Oh, really? I never noticed that. You never notice it? Well, I never leave it up cup long enough to leave the mark, like a gulp it down. Drink tea while it's hot, as the Japanese way, isn't it? Oh dear, so many people seem to have the wrong idea about our culture. Most of them are Japanese. Do you think that this idiot tried to cool down his own tea by using ice from the outside? That he was castrated in the soap. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know. If he poisoned himself, I think it was a better way to do it, to be honest. Especially if you were trying to press charges, like, you know, fake. Fake. Objection! I mean, you claim that Mr. Natsumi did drink a drop of tea on the night in question, but that's impossible. How? Triple logic? What is this? Your dog left land? The two key cups from the scene, one used by the victim, the other used by the defendant. A clear difference between them. One of them. A clear difference between them on one that present incontrovertible proof. There's weird noises. Incontrovertible? What difference? Look at the inside the cup, just there. You see clearly visible ring. Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough. Indeed, such things go all too readily when one leaves teacup and cup for a while. And yet, Mr. Natsume cup has no such ring. Oh, you're right. It's completely clean. And pride is, sir, what makes all of it. Exactly what Mr. Sue told Sakura yesterday. The Japanese saying he called it drink, tea, while it's hot. British people remember this. That's right, yes. The jittery Mr. Sume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring will have developed inside of his scalp as well. After several hours, tea was left standing. But, and show Mr. Shamspeare, you clearly lied to a court. Get the nudity!
Objection!
See, just your yeet. It's a rule. I filled my hollow chalice up to 7 times during only one trial. He's wrong. He's totally. Vanzesk is wrong. Take it easy with the alcohol. Okay, I'm not drinking. Take it fucking easy. Just take it easy. I know it's wine. Take it easy. You might want to keep that information to yourself. It's basically a mixture of Goro. Instead of coffee, he go for the wine. And then until the bottle is. Yeah, the occasional tea distracts me, and I pour more times than I intend until the bottle is dry. Drinking habit is fascinating but relevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the flickness of human memory. William Shakespeare. Yes, my liege. Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from leftover tea in the accused camp, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot lab at the scene? In fact, that have vanished from your memory until now. Fade, my liege, thou art a magician. Oh, this is a big mistake. For verily it is told, as has seen, he sees thine own eyes that night. What? Forsooth I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked to all sample, thus did I use the dregs that fester in the teapot, as my liege did suggest.
Objection!
Wait, what? And you just suddenly remember now that you made a mistake before? Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection!
People's memories are imperfect, my little friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us 2 things of the note. Firstly, that the poison was put in the victim's teacup only. And secondly, that this poisoned cup was not the source of the in-speed ice cones that have bewitched you with his court. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, that testimony remains valid in full support of the established facts, in other words. You're gonna yeet. The consistent claim by the defense simply does not exist. What does this mean? I'm so confused. I do declare it means there is no issue. Apart from the bit about TV gas, obviously. My lords, lady and emperor of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine and grubs and grubbery at the house that night, now did pass my lips, but a black tea given by the Japanese, whose back to be stooped as low as death. And on what did you dine, sir? Why, I did partake at my favorite brute, as will be called soup and leaf, as will be called salad. In Salabris and Manuel's establishment, where it was served. Why you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly would I suffer, without punishment is and fate, to serve a wicked thief or gas. But I pray ye wish, noble fellows, never forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. Jurors, all your humble servant, Shamspeare, not entreat. You punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord! If I may speak, my lord. We're gonna get a guilty verdict again. Believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer. Me? We declare you may be right. We all know the waif there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm. But this lawyer lad say he's stealing gas he deserves to those who poison me. He's been letting out to the garden path, that's what he's been doing. But he never said anything like that. But what we just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We reached a decision this time. We won't be swayed from it. Court acknowledged the poison of the jury's verdict. I will duly hear the jury's findings. What? No. You can't yet! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you say your decision
Guilty!
now.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Okay, it's getting boring. It's getting out of hand, I guess. That's the point I'm saying. Yeah, but I carry the jury to be on our court again. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. I feel like I think he was intending to poison someone, if you know what I mean. He just stated the rest of he was dying. So I guess you can notice it. How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts his right to carry decimation, whatever. Yeah, well, yeah. Typical, my learned friends unable to accept the obvious truth. This trial will therefore enter in the second summation examination immediately. Jurors the calls upon which state the grounds upon which the defendant is guilty of crime which he is charged. So I have a strong feeling he wanted to poison the girl. Jurors contentious. A man of logic in me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. I do agree that the gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man will have want to avoid pain. The stuff explodes and can poison you. Supposedly lethal gas is. Gas doesn't come for free, it costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Truth be told, to deal with my wife served after me is a little sketchy at times. If nothing else past the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? I'm gonna press the last one. But never mind, never mind. Oh no, really, you should mind. The truth is, our counter-argument was unassailable, as we hoped. Yes, and Mr. Champier's was poisoned, there can be no doubt of it. And are we supposed to turn this around? I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Champier was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that it's a code in cruelty. But that's surely almost impossible at this stage. If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsuma will be found guilty. Guilty? No delays, counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Jury examination. I'm a man of logic, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah.
Hold it!
Does that mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you change your leaning? Huh? Sorry? Yeah, whatever. What now? What now? Oh, I was just saying, if the victim they actually ate or drank something else on the night. What's the matter with you? Sorry? I said, if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? Haven't you been listening to me at all? Look, there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that is appropriate here. Compared to the other jurors who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all. It don't seem that the elder gentleman has been listening to the proceeding far more intently. I suppose the trouble is... he has a selective hearing? Exactly, but still. Jurors may well be the key to the breakthrough that it is so desperately need. It's hopeless. There's no way for an appeal of these people. I think there's only way we should overcome this difficult situation by exposing the way in which Mr. Shankly was really poisoned. I have to prove that it happened some other way, not via Mr. Natsumi's tea. Yes, I know. The trouble is, I have absolutely no idea how did it happen. Mr. Naruhodo. What if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten? Oh, like what? It's important to watch everyone involved and pursue people if they react to something someone else says. We'd like to remind you exactly what I mean. Oh, okay, we have to pursue. Once again, Soseki-san fate is in my hands. Probably will make clarity in my advice. Miss Caesar may be able to offer, so perhaps I will. Fresh my mind, no need. I know that. I know what I mean.
Hold it!
Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here in case you haven't noticed against my company gas. I'm supposed to see here and take it, am I? Don't think so. She's really buzzing me now. Well, I've heard about our fond of foods is explosion imposing. What about electricity, huh? What about getting electrocuted? What about that? Little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison. An explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, 34 your gas is deplorable. My point exactly. But I guess thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. A far more devious report rates to contend with on the daily basis, you know. More devious? Oh, madam. Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies? Not quite what I'm expecting. I was expecting. General gas and we deliver it to our customer fair and square. Indeed, nobody's questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company. But there are others unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. Don't even have gas at all. What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, but would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that. They steal your gas? How on earth is such thing possible? Gas company like ours deliver gas to people's homes via nectar or pipes. But these devil appropriates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. And then they make a contract with the household supply by those pipes, and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours, without us even knowing. Diverting gas into their own pipes illegally, a present form of thief. When we visit the customer house to collect the money from the metals, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies have been
Yeah.
set down to drinks. Ho! Ho!
Excuse me.
Is there something to say? I have something to say about jurors number 3. Oh, golly. You mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking of... You can catch him gone off there. Thinking about what? The lady next to you say something correct? Well, yes. I just got a little riled up recently, you see. Go on. An Alton gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. I need to ask you to cooperate there. We need to ask your cooperation while we carry out the secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So let him in. You do know what he did? I'm afraid I have no idea. Please tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. Blowing into it? What do you think you're doing, old man? You're giving away company secrets there. Oh, please, everybody knows. But it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you. What do you mean? I'll explain, if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customer to our pipe nectar. Yeah, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it? Obviously, their gas in the pipe leaves fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment. Oh, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe, the lights of an agent's property has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes. Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighbors to investigate which light flickers. The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. Blew down the pipe with all his might. You can guess what happened, can't you? Well, if he blew hard, then wait, you mean? That's right, the lights didn't just flicker, they went out, along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house. What disaster. The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so flames went out. I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all? I said. So by disconnecting an arm and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same nectar of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just suddenly seeps into the room. Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps... Yeah, this is all... Yeah, remember the wall? Yeah, that's the thing. He was not taking it. He was blowing it. This is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Totally what I meant. He was blowing the thing. Jurors number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to that information. Well, it's not like I don't mind. Well, I do, that's our company. Like I said, madam, it's widely known already. Very well, juror number 3, you will amend your statement accordingly. Yeah, I think it's quite obvious. If you keep coming to the everyone house and you blow them, it will probably be noticeable and, you know, common. Although I'm not really sure what the point of this is.
Objection!
This statistic clearly contradicts it. Two states to your fair counsel. Number 6. You hear jurors number 3 you just said. What? Yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other. There's another explanation here, I believe. Something beside Mr. Tsuneti did, a manner of speaking, past the victim's lips on the night in question. What? What explanation? I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe fitting the wall light at the scene? To see if there were any traces of poison there? I was curious to see what your floundering will result in this time, but the mouth of a gas pipe. So can you had enough to without exploring such irreverence? What a piece of work is a man. What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspierre? What speaks thou, Brite, is not strange and strange. That is what I see today, sir. I thought it been quite clear. Let me put it another way. The strange thing could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that fits the wall lamp in your room. That is how the poison came to enter in your body. Good lord! Wait, do you think the worker tried to poison him? Are they tasty then the gas pipe is what he's saying? Is the gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry that he tried to fill his belly with gas? Perhaps no actors will perform a kiss scene with him, huh? For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes.
Objection!
This is not summation examination, this is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of this learned police rank conjecture. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips into the pipe that fits it, he would have to be a contortionist? These are empty assertions. There's a box there. There's no possible proof that the man did as I said. There's a box in there. It is true I have no proof that Mr. Shamspierre put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspierre has been doing something in front of the lamp on this wall. Mr. Shamspierre has been doing something in front of the lamp on his wall. The prince will mean it. It's like what he was doing. Why his hand out on the wall? And you can argue that. I have evidence to prove it. Right, you got our attention, lad. I like to see how you can be so sure of yourself. So will I. Let me see this evidence then. Now that I got juries here, I need to make this opportunity count. Aha! This is the proof. This is the proof. Proof? There it is.
Take that!
Handprint on the wall. What the? These are, wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints were found at the scene. Skin prints, counsel? Never heard such a thing. Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however. My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, reveals that the place that Mr. Shamspierre torch in his room. I never seen anything like that. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it? Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's a great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure. I agree, this multi-edition of the engineered arms was quite fascinating. We found skin prints in many places that you would accept, on the table, on the costumes. Scum everywhere! However, this is a questionable prints, you know. However, Mr. Shamspierre also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here, on the handprint picture there, indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible. Well, I wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps? Yeah, sure. What a piece of art. My colleagues thought the same, however. Imagine standing with your hands where those prints are. You will find yourself directly in front of... Ah! The lamp! I don't believe it! The gas lamp! But the reason why isn't immediately obvious is clear that Mr. Shams here was regularly been standing with his hands onto the wall in front of the lamp. Right, what have you been up to? Does the court recall jurors number 4 earlier statement? Me? What did I say? You said that blowing into a gas pipe will make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now if you recall jurors number 3 statement. What? Me now? When the gas worker visited his own blew with too much force into the pipe, he caused all lights and gas stove to go out and gas to start leaking to the room. Obviously that incident was an accident, however, the simple fact is, if Mr. Shamsier were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in this room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will. Crikey. Are you suggesting that the man purposefully caused the gas to...
Objection!
Will at least I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during summation examination? I must toast my learned friends the utter disregard for the letter of the law. What is the meaning of this law van Zisks? This curious photograph or whatever it is presented by the defense is all skin prints. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case. But its exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective is nothing. Shh. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands. Certainly, even research of this nature by the esteemed Shams cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence.
Hold it!
Please, my lord, if I may, Mr. Sato. It was not the defense's intention to admit the skin prints as a formal evidence. We merely wish to present the result of the great detective investigation of the scene, as a tool by which explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Well played. And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors will agree. Triple You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide. Jurors number 3! Oh yes, I do declare the great detective investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. Jurors number 2! Want to hear what the shady actor fellow has to say about those shady prints? What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy. Oh well, I did say it, didn't I? I don't like to break up promise. No, wait! You heard his lordship? The evidence is... Namtrak. No, well done, Mr. Naruto. Just one juror changed his or her mind. This Satsume trial will have to continue. Thank you, Mr. Sato, but I couldn't have done it without you. Oh no, it was you who identified the clue, after all. This is very much your success. It's wetting. This is wetty bolts. Why, my Shakespeare, you seem to be losing your composure. That's one more jurors, Mr. Naruto. You can do it. Very well, continue, counsel.
Hold it!
What the evidence you say? That's right, and there is no room without. It's all pointed to the Japanese man with a big mustache. Big mustache? Let's say the English man with a bigger mustache. Big ash mustache. But the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the mantle on the night in question. What do you make it so far? Of that. What you are called skin prints? Is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective himself. The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if the Mr. Shamsi has indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, it can't be denied that there's a possibility that that's where the poison was. Well, yes, I won't deny it's playing on my mind. But the prosecution rightly says we should pay no heed to an acceptable form of evidence. And besides, yes, even if the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, doesn't mean he got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it? Oh. If you can make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance. You do make a very valid point, sir. What? That's true. Perhaps I was a little... wait. Look, you got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. If you and your Japanese cohorts can, that is. Just leave our nationality out of this, please. Mr. Naruhodo, if we can sustain our position, I'm afraid the jurors that changed their minds before may very well change them back. What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give her? I'm sure Mr. Shams here really didn't know now. Gasp by the benign question. I have supporting testimony. If you remember Natsume say something there. Naturally, I don't have evidence to support my theory, however. There are witness testimony that substantiates it. What's that? Testimony? It's incredible. Whose testimony? Yes, it's all connected, everything's linked. A person whose testimony revealed details about the cash.
Take that!
Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant. Suseki Natsume himself. The defendant? At the very beginning of the proceeding here in court yesterday, Mr. Suri said the following. And lodgings, there's being hold serious strange happenings in my lodgings. Even on the fateful night it happened, when I returned from Mr. Shams' room, lay my guest climbing to bed, but before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me. Now, on the night in question, the guy's defendant's room went out, so I asked the court, was there a mere coincidence or not? Golly! So that Shams fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove out on purpose? Now hold your horses, what will he do that for? Mr. Foreman? What is that, man? We cannot allow judgment to be passed while this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. Jesus, however, you must surely agree there is more to this case than meets the eye. Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic, first and foremost. Hiya! The whole jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We are overturned the decision. Therefore, aha! The defense called for the trial to continue. As the defense is rightly indicated, examination has concluded with a majority of jurors alternating their decision. 2 jury members now called guilty, 4 now called not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted and in accordance with the law of the sound. Hereby order the continuation of this trial. Mr. William Shamspeare? My lord, how can I humble Shamspeare serve day? What say you in response to the various revelation made during the examination? So God mend me, I do solemnly swear. I recall aught of either, the lamp of the pipe. Well, your handprints have made a tidy mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that, me? How do you explain that? Shit! I'm done with this. The danger of these great courtroom have been sold enough already. Jurors number 5. Me? As I went to some pains to point out already, a print from the cell professed detective toy has no place in British court of law. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains at this time unestablished conjecture. You will do well to remember that.
Objection!
When the prosecution must concede that it will be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth gas pipe feeding the lamp in the Mr. Shamspeare room to be examined. If there are traces of poison
Objection!
He refused. What appears to be extremely simple is manipulating his friend mine. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remains of tea were required. Yes? Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been sprayed on the pipe, it will have to completely evaporate by now, making any analysis impossible. Oh, I didn't think of that. In any case, counsel, I failed to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you described. Oh no, will this fellow have wanted to blow air in the gas pipe where he lived? That's a big question, right? Right, guys? Right? There's only one possibility that I can think of, and that is... he was the leaking cut commit murder. Gus commit murder. Order, counsel. Precisely. Whose lie do you propose this man was plotting to end? As I called it Miss Simple, now we are unraveled the mystery this far. Mr. Champsier wanted to end the life of Garibidi.
Take that!
Garideb. If a gas lamp were to go out, it will be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing. I lie around those parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can't tell you, trying to sleep without the stove leads pretty much a suicide. It leads to death in no time. So, if our people don't understand it, back in the days, gas didn't have smell. If I'm not wrong. I don't remember what a chemist, and the name of the chemist, a chemist managed to add some sort of odor in it. Now, every time you smell gas, you smell it because you have such a pungent smell right now. But back in the days, you could not smell it, so you die in your sleep. Mr. Gary, with the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. I don't know when it was introduced, by the way, this chemical thingy. So, if you smell gas, it's not because you smell it, because there is a chemical component in it that allows you to smell it. So this is why it's so recognizable. Saved a lot of life, by the way. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Champier was trying to end. Outrageous! So, you will die in your sleep if you couldn't not smell gas. I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Tsume isn't a villain in this case. He's the victim. The man was trying to murder.
Objection!
Sorry. The accused is actually the grieved? Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remains unchanged. Namely, that the accused is aggressor here. How can you still claim that? Let us indulge all your fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then rises is who put it there? Who did put it there? The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill. Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison? You think it's the worker? So you know, so now we must ask, how could anyone have known about Mr. Champier's murderous designs? You mean to suggest? Naturally, it's all possible answers to the question could be more obvious. Only the man whose lives being threatened could possibly have known. What? In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was clear retaliatory attack? Would you have been the accused, Mrs. Susakinitsu? Yeah, good point. Whatever Mr. William Chancellor may or may not have contrived to, he was nevertheless the victim of potential lethal poison attack. And the only person who could possibly have perpetrated the attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume. Now we're doing turn again. The defense counsel theorized he has failed to avert suspicion from the accused, far from it. In fact, now the clear motive for the poison has been successfully established. That suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, Miss my Nipponese friendo? How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly? Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond. Otherwise, the member of the jury might very well change their leanings against us again. And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage. Optimism. What advantage, indeed. It's all will be seeing somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamsi's room. We must name the person, now I absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt. You mean that true culprit? I know it might sound impossible, but we failed to do that. No doubt that Mr. Natsume failed to be sealed once for all. As it happens, one possible culprit does come into mind. The evidence, the poison, not pointing to a particular person now. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider the leanings again. Thus you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. What? Oh, no more.
Objection!
There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. The true culprit of this crime. The true culprit? A term found in all these second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detective my neighbor's friend. But why not? His fast has gone for so long already, I see no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax. Thank you. Thank you. Tell us, my learning Japanese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime? Him?
Take that!
I hate this. I hate this game. They was the person responsible for the poison that afflicted. I knew she was related, but I don't know where or when. I believe Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green? Miss Olive Green. I don't feel at all that we are heard that name in the recent past council, but I don't recall where or when. Miss Olive, the one from 6 days ago. The victim in the recent case of stabbing the Briar Road. The incident of which Mr. Natsume was arrested and hastened to add. Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green. Yeah. She left comatose for those 3 days, I believe. I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago. And I hardly remind the quote that Mr. Shamsphere poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that a woman was lying comatose in a hospital by the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi. I agree with that. True or denied that the incident occurred, Miss Green was in hospital unconscious. So on the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't possibly be responsible, but still. My colleague and I visited Miss Green hospital yesterday, and we found her in possession of a bottle of poison. Good gracious, she had poison? And there is another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details of the court. First thing first, you don't know what poison is that. Anyway, I'm gonna just... And the mouse died too quickly! Tell me, Mr. Champier. My lord, pray what be her hiding? Are you acquainted with Miss Green? No, never heard of her. Judging by the look on Mr. Champier's face, I think perhaps he generally doesn't know her, at least not by name. As the voice of Her Majesty prosecution here, adhere to my word. We'll see my Lord Nipponese offer through this conclusion. I appreciate that. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness to bring her here. I guess Miss Olive Green. Indeed, my lord. No, 1 hour is sufficient. Do you really think she poisoned him? But why the reason I don't believe it is that she must know who the hell this guy is. Very well, I grant the request. Excellent, I hope. The defense may be a most extraordinary accusation, I must say. But at the present time, I feel the prosecution argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defender and his culpability remain the sole subject of this court attention. Thank you, counsel. We reconvene in a 1 hour court. I didn't drink my stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of getting messy. I had a strong feeling she was related with it, but we can all agree that it was quite obvious. Did she actually poison him? That means that she must know he was going to blow the pipe. It also means that he was trying to kill her. But if he never knew her, if he genuinely never knew her, according to the comment last statement, that's weird. It means that she must have been to the house at least once. Yeah, I think we are doing the old bag dirty trick, I guess. Hope you enjoy. Leave a like and subscribe and whatever, and hope to see you again very, very soon. We love you. Bye.